Welcome back. I'm going to carry on from where we were, looking at the Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, they've rounded out this faction quite a lot. When they started releasing them, they released a whole bunch of these, and then they added Angela in there. But there's actually a lot of characters that could be added to the Guardians, and annoyingly, some characters we already have. So there's the list. Nova, I think most people are familiar with. Okay, Nova turns up in a lot of cartoons and things. Yondu, people are familiar with him from the films, although if you look at the comics, he's a bit different. Cosbone the Space Dog technically was in the Guardians films, wasn't really a character. And then Adam Warlock, again, another famous character. We expect to see him in the next Guardians film. He's been around a while. Quasar's another kind of person that's been in the Guardians of the Galaxy comics on and off for years and years. But some of the more modern ones that I'm hoping we get to see is Agent Venom. Okay, so this isn't the Eddie Brock we're used to. Agent Venom was Flash from the like sort of Spider-Man's high school thing, with guns. Okay, so he ended up running around with the Guardians for a while, and as you can see on there in that picture, Captain Marvel was part of the Guardians of the Galaxy at that point. So really, I would like to see Captain Marvel going into the Guardians at some point. Another kind of couple of characters, maybe not used to. Kitty Pryde, aka Shadowcat. She's been at one point leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy and had a thing with Star-Lord, so it'd be nice to see her if she turns up, or at least an alternate version of her in the Guardians. And if you notice there's Thing. So if we ever get the Fantastic Four, maybe he'll be in the Guardians. And in a similar period to all these guys being in, Iron Man was in one run of Guardians of the Galaxy. So we've got actually two characters here that we already have, but they're not in the Guardians. Maybe they'll change their minds and do that. Might get Iron Man to see some more play than he currently doesn't get. Inhumans. It's a faction I don't think many people are playing, and I kind of think, to me, it's a bit unfinished. Really, they've given us 4 Inhumans and then put in 3 characters that are really in other factions, and they've put them into Inhumans. Staying on the main lot, Gorgon, Karnak, Maximus, Triton, they're all more parts of sort of the Inhumans royal family. The first 3 being sort of the people that work with Black Bolt, and Maximus being his evil, crazy brother. So maybe we'll get these guys at some point if they're trying to round out the Inhumans. If we've got Quicksilver and Ronan as people who have been in relationships with the Inhumans, maybe we'll see Human Torch. So again, another Fantastic Four character. Hopefully we'll get to see him in the Inhumans. Miss Marvel, I'm hoping we'll see. She is technically an Inhuman, so when she turns up, we know she's coming. Maybe she'll be in the Inhumans. And then some slightly odder characters. Moon Girl, just like Miss Marvel, got her powers from sort of the Terrigen cloud that swept the Earth. Moon Girl got some of her powers from that as well. And then also has this relationship with Devil Dinosaur. Not sure how they'd do a model as big as a giant red demonic T-Rex, but hey, it'd be cool. Daisy Johnson, aka Quake, if you've read some of the Secret Avengers comics and also the sort of the Marvel stuff you can see on Disney Plus. Daisy Johnson there is actually leading a team, and then also she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so she's a pretty cool character that maybe we'll get to see in Inhumans. And then lastly, it's this guy, Kid Kaiju. He draws things, and what he draws comes to life, and he tends to draw big mech things and big kaiju things and monsters and stuff. Again, think that would be really hard for AMG to do. That's going to have to be a big box for one little dude and a bunch of big monsters that he can summon. And we haven't really seen any summoning characters so far because it's not big in Marvel. But who knows? Maybe one day we can dream. So, Spider Foes. Most people who read comics know that it's kind of like Batman has this crazy, massive rogue gallery. Spider-Man's the guy that really has that in Marvel. He has so many bad guys. So really only just touching the surface here. We know Kraven Lizard, possibly Black Cat are coming in the next month, so that's going to be more models for Spider Foes. But there's a whole load of more people who have been either in the Sinister Six or a big-time Spider-Man baddies. This picture kind of gives you an idea. Okay, Spider-Man has so many different people who he's fought against on a regular basis. So I think we can, hopefully over the time expect to see then Spider Foes will be a massive affiliation. So we got some classics like, there we go, Electro, the Rhino. Loads of people are looking forward to him. Vulture, seen him in the films recently, so maybe we'll get a more modern design than his bald man with feathers around his neck costume. The Shocker, mentioned earlier, he's totally rubbish, but he's kind of a fan favourite. Morbius, he's got a film coming later this year, so maybe we'll expect to see him turning up. Sandman, okay, pretty famous, been in the film. I couldn't find him in this picture. Anyone who has spot him in this picture, please let me know in the comments. Got Hobgoblin down the bottom there, the Harry Osborn version of Green Goblin. We've also then got Scorpion. Okay, he's a pretty cool character, and he ended up becoming Venom at one point. Boomerang, who's not on here, so yeah, basically he throws boomerangs. And a Chameleon, Master of Disguise. Okay, you can see there's even more characters on here that I haven't referenced in this picture. So over the years, Spider-Man's fought just like loads and loads of cool characters. So hopefully Spider-Foes will go from being a not great faction to one of the best affiliations if we ever get all of this lot. And kind of like I just did with Spider-Foes, X-Men, it's a bit crazy. There's a lot of them. I'm not going to list all of the different X-Men. I haven't even listed all of the X-Men in this picture because we'd literally be here all day. And I kind of suspect the fact that it's got Uncanny X-Men as the affiliation name is that at some point we'll get a different X-Men name. But I've picked out some of the kind of what it could be this year. So firstly, the main two X-Men that are missing. We all know that our original X-Men are Cyclops, Jean Grey, who's coming, Beast, although that's fluffy blue Beast, not old big feet Beast. Angel and Iceman are the other two are missing from that. Next up should be Havoc and Polaris, okay, Magneto's daughter. They were right there in between those original 5 X-Men and then the sort of the new Claremont run of X-Men. We should see them at some point. They're major characters. Banshee kind of comes into that time period, and then we've got a couple of the next really big important characters that kind of, certainly that was the X-Men I grew up with. So like Colossus, Rogue, Nightcrawler, okay, and Kitty Pryde or Shadowcat. Those last 4 are the 4 that I really want to see. I'm not going to be happy with an X-Men until I see those 4 characters. When I see them, then I've got an X-Men I can play with. For the moment, it's kind of a mishmash of it's a random bunch of X-Men characters. And why Cable and Domino are in X-Men before Rogue and Nightcrawler, I have no idea. A couple of other ones that I'd like to see super early on. Yes, we've got Jean Grey, but it'd be nice to see Phoenix and then Dark Phoenix, or maybe a version of Phoenix that turns into Dark Phoenix when she flips. That would be great. Dazzler, yes, she's a cheesy 80s person that has sparkly lights and goes around on the roller skates, but I grew up in the 80s, so sue me. Gambit, okay, personally, most people won't agree with me. I absolutely hate Gambit. It's literally everything about him, but probably the fact that he's with Rogue. But I can't stand the guy, but he's got to come at some time. He's a super popular character. Jubilee, kind of the opposite, not a popular character, but some people like her. I kind of like her, but her powers are a bit naff. Maybe we'll get a 2 threat in X-Men. Psylocke, again, one of my favourite X-Men. There she is, right in the centre. Of course, Psylocke's a bit weird at the moment because Psylocke's currently been split back into her Psylocke version and her Captain Britain version. So who knows what they'll do with that. Longshot, most people probably haven't heard of him, but he was a cool character from around this kind of same time period. Same as Forge. If he can make guns for other characters, that'd be great. I'd like to see Bishop. He turned up a lot in the 90s cartoon. And then although she's not really in this time period, we're talking like another 15, 20 years later than the kind of 90s X-Men, Emma Frost, she's been a big part of the X-Men now for years. And of course, one character I'm completely missing on that is Professor X himself. Surely we're going to get him. Maybe we could have got him in the Jean Grey box instead of Cassandra Nova, but what do I know? Moving on from X-Men is Wakanda. Now, actually, Wakanda is one I really struggle to find many more characters. We kind of got the obvious one is a Shuri Black Panther model. Maybe if that's where they're going with the film next year, we have no idea. Maybe we'll see that then. So I think that would be a cool model to see. I'd like to see M'Baku, because he was pretty cool in the films, although the comics version is very different, so I'm not sure how they'll go with that. Again, White Wolf in the films, they've made Bucky, but in the comics was a totally different person. And there's this character, really strange character, Queen Divine Justice. Kind of runs around with 2 guns shooting people. She's an ally of Black Panther. Okay, you see I'm kind of stretched thin trying to find people for Wakanda. So I think this is always going to be a hard affiliation to properly fill out. Web Warriors, kind of odd when we go for that. There's a lot of Web Warriors characters or Spider-Man allies that we're missing. Okay, firstly, we assume, Amazing Spider-Man, we assume he's going to be in Web Warriors. We know he is, rather. Black Cat, we're not sure about. I think he is. And then we've got 2 different Spider-Women. Okay, the original, Jessica Drew. She had her own cartoon TV series when I was a kid. We have to get a mod of her. I love her outfit. It's iconic. When I play Marvel United, she's like one of my favourite characters. She's just great. And in the comics, she's been a spy and worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, technically she's also been a baddie, but that was a Skrull. Spoilers. And then we've had another Spider-Woman, okay, Julia Carpenter. So a couple of Spider-Women to go with. We've also had a Spider-Girl, or in this case, I think it's Aranya. Okay, she was a pretty cool character when Marvel Next was a thing. So that would be someone different to see. Maybe again, hopefully 2-threat character. Notice running theme there, always wanted 2 threats. Silk, much more modern character. Okay, but again, she's been in like a run recently with Gwen and Spider-Woman. So that'd be cool to see Silk. And then we're kind of all the variant Spider-Mans, like Spider-Man Noir or Spider UK, Spider-Man 2099. So there's loads of different other versions of Spider-Man from around the Spider-Verse that maybe we could dip into. Perfectly happy if we never have Spider-Ham, however. And lastly, X-Force. Again, this is kind of a weird version of X-Force we've got here. Cable and Domino, yeah, hardcore members of X-Force. Sabretooth, not so much. Wolverine, more, and Colossus, yeah, more modern versions. And yeah, Deadpool. Okay, to me, what we're missing is that team. Okay, that's the X-Force I remember. Okay, basically the people that were the New Mutants. Cable turns up with Domino, picks up Feral, and they become X-Force. So we've also got their Cannonball flying around like a lunatic, Boom Boom, Shatterstar. In the comics he's actually not quite so useless as he is in the film, and Warpath. That's kind of like a key bunch of members that I think we should get for X-Force. Sunspot comes into that as well. He's kind of a pretty key member of New Mutants that went into X-Force. And then if we kind of move on a bit, again, here's a more modern version of X-Force. Oh, got someone I forgot about, X-23, Wolverine's female clone. And we've got Wolfsbane, we've got Warpath again, we've got Wolverine. Lots of people there with claws. That's a pretty cool version of X-Force. And then we've got this even better version of X-Force, okay, because it's got Phantom X in and Psylocke. Okay, so there's lots of different versions of X-Force over the years. There's a few more characters there we can throw in it. Okay, so all in all, I didn't count up how many extra characters I had, but if we're sitting on 82, I think we can look at easily hitting the 200 characters over the next year or so. That's going to be expensive, and not just that, we haven't even got all the affiliations. So we've got more X-Men affiliations like New Mutants, X-Factor under sort of Jamie Madrox when he was an investigator, Excalibur because I can get Captain Britain and Megan. Got other versions of the Avengers, Young Avengers. Okay, I'm pretty sure they're going to be a thing soon in the MCU, so I'd expect to see them. Secret Avengers, whether it's the cartoon version or it's the other version from the comics. The West Coast Avengers, okay, when Hawkeye was actually bossed. All the crazily, very strange GLA, because then hopefully we'll get Squirrel Girl. We've got other teams, Champions, Runaways, the New Warriors, the great characters of the New Warriors before they accidentally blew up and killed a load of people and started the original Civil War. The Illuminati, by the time we actually get all of sort of Black Bolt and Professor X and Mr. Fantastic, maybe we'll put them all together, have an Illuminati thing. Speaking of Mr. Fantastic, surely we've got to get the Fantastic Four at some point. Are we going to get the Eternals? No one really expected the Inhumans to turn up, and no one asked for them. We got them. Okay, we've got an Eternals film coming later this year. Will we get a bunch of Eternal models? I can't really tell you anything about the Eternals, apart from the fact they're led by Rob Stark. Really strange looking film. And maybe we'll get a S.H.I.E.L.D. affiliation. Okay, we've already got characters that are clearly Shield affiliated. Maybe we'll get Nick Fury and Maria Hill. That could be a thing. Maybe at some point we'll actually get a Masters of Evil affiliation. They'll break down the Cabal. Maybe the Cabal will get a bit too big. Maybe we'll get a Hand. There's a bunch of characters that have been involved with the Hand. Maybe we'll get AIM. Okay, I feel like that should have a new version of MODOK with the leadership. And one that a lot of people have asked for is Thunderbolts. We've had lots of different versions of Thunderbolts over the years, lots of different leaders, but Thunderbolts are kind of a fan favourite. So, yeah, there's just a couple of my suggestions. Don't really think that AMG would be watching this, but if they do, hey, there's some really cool things. Probably working on a bunch of them already. They seem to know what they're doing. All right, well, thanks for watching. Again, any comments, please leave them in the thing. If you want to like and subscribe, do it. And yeah, I think that's it. So until next time, bye for now.